All right, so we're gonna try. I'm gonna put this GoPro in the box. All right, here we go.
Wait, what are we slating it for? Now what are we slating it for? What's the GoPro for?
Isn't that cool? So when you take a question, like that, isn't that
Okay, sure.
Isn't that kind of cool? I mean, obviously now that this is whatever that's the question.
We just have to make sure that
Yeah, we have to
continue to cover it.
We continue to cover it. Isn't that cool? It's a GoPro, Roger. It auto exposes. It auto focuses.
Do they autofocus?
Yeah, they autofocus. Well, it's already like a set focus, like a pretty good infinity focus. But it's not like a phone. You know, like a phone has like that autofocus based on when eyeballs or whatever.
It's not like you can touch.
So how's your day going?
My day's good.
How was fun? We had fun. You had fun this weekend. I didn't play.
We just got back from Fort Ord for our Airsoft Nation game hosted by Roundhouse Productions.
Great staff.
Great staff. The event went off without a hitch. In fact, I kept hearing that they were ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I know. How does that happen?
Rarely do we have an event that runs
we never have an event
exactly
that goes
on time, let alone ahead of schedule. So, but on top of that, the AO was awesome. The event was really, really cool. Everybody played really hard. And we had a sizable amount of people for that field.
I enjoyed my view from the parking lot. Sadly, my knee has been swelling up this week. I don't know what's going on. I got ice pack on it right now. Hopefully,
we were joking around about like every time George wants to go do something, his knee's just like, nope, screw you.
No, my knee's usually been. I actually, you know what it was? I bragged about it like a few weeks ago. Oh, my knee's been perfect, and then like I think I tweaked it back in the van, and it was already like kind of swollen, and then it just was like done. Like, I hate you.
It literally said that.
Yeah. Oh well, it happens. Mm-hmm. See, I said it. It happens.
Yes.
I'm not saying the other one. I don't want to have to bleep myself.
Oh! I was like, what else would happen?
All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah, welcome back, you guys, to the Knots Around Table. This is what we do. You guys submit questions in previous videos. Those go into our Helm of Reasoning. We were going to film it on the way back from Fort Ord, but...
In the van. We were going to do it in the van.
I fell asleep in the van.
Everybody fell asleep. I was driving by myself.
I'm sorry.
We got this great picture, though, of Roger and Toby in the back seat. They almost looked like they were both, like, asleep in the same direction.
But my finger was in the picture.
Yeah, I know. I would have loved to have
I don't know how to operate camera.
I would have loved to have been able to post that, because they were, like, if they were leaning...
If they
were leaning any closer, they would have kissed. It would have been cute. Too far?
Disturbing.
Too far? Too far? Okay, call sign Squirrel Ops. Dear insert, fill in the blank. I'm so operator, I blank. I'm so operator, my knee don't work.
So operator, my knee needs a break.
Yeah, it's going. You need to take a break from operating today, George. Thanks, knee. Really, really appreciate it.
I'm so operator. I don't know. I have no.
No, come on. Okay. You gotta do it.
I'm not an operator. I'm so operator. I lose a pistol mag every time I go out.
Yeah, you lost one this weekend, but you did find it.
Someone turned it in, which is really nice.
Yeah, actually, that was a great thing about the Roundhouse guys. They have a really good lost and found thing. So the way they do it is if you turn in something for lost and found, you get an extra raffle ticket. That's actually really kind of cool.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
That's really cool.
So, I mean, it is kind of nice. I mean, I'd rather turn in a magazine and get an extra ticket. What if that extra ticket won me, something really cool?
Or, just turn it in because...
Well, I mean, I like to turn things in anyway because I know what it feels like to lose Thunderbees and lose footballs. We don't even label our footballs anymore. I just shoot them and I'm like, oh, we lost it.
It's done. Okay.
All right, we gotta keep it.
Yeah, I was trying to Okay, so Alex Palacios asks, Dear insert and potential guest, I was wondering if you have ever made a kid cry while playing Airsoft. Love your vids. Keep up the great work. Okay, so George, have you ever made a kid cry?
Okay, hold on a second. I don't think so in Airsoft. I've seen a kid cry, and I've helped out a kid who was kind of like a little, not traumatized, but a little bit like shy of what was going on with Airsoft. Kind of didn't know what to expect. BBs flying around everywhere. Especially when the kids start out with like CQB, they're a little bit more timid because the noise is really loud. There's usually some guys there like, oh, I'm gonna charge the 50 and just lay down. So I surrendered this kid, and he was kind of really. You could tell he was kind of hiding a little bit, but you just want to encourage him. Hey, doesn't hurt too bad.
Was he on your team?
No, he's on the other team.
So you surrendered him?
Yes.
scared the heck out of him.
Yes, because I yelled in the room, bang, 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 bang,
See?
bang. You know,
Those are the best.
those are the best. And he's like, ah! Luckily he didn't. Luckily he didn't go. Luckily he didn't shoot me when I said that.
Okay,
Did
all right.
do you ever make a kid cry, Matt?
Probably.
Yeah. He just used probably.
Well, I mean,
Any stories
not.
specifically?
I don't think I've made anybody ever cry. You know, either emotionally or out of pain at a milsim game. But like I said, I came from Speedsoft, and in Speedsoft you're real close, and especially when I was a lot earlier than current times. It was kind of big boy rules, and so you didn't have the engagement distances as much.
Yeah,
people were shooting a lot hotter and a lot faster, so there was a lot of pain back then. So I imagine there was some people that
Interesting.
they're pretty upset. Sorry.
Yeah, I do apologize to any kids that we made cry before. Jason, all right, I'm gonna butcher your name anyway. We'll let you do whatever. You have Jason F. Do you got that? Because I can't.
Folchetu.
Folchetu. You're pretty good with that. Gotta admit. What is your favorite optic / laser, etc. preferred gun for short or long range engagements? Sorry. So what is your preferred optic / laser and preferred gun for short to long range engagements? That's kind of like covering all bases.
Yeah.
Short to long range. No, that doesn't make any sense. What is your favorite? We already know what your favorite short range gun is. It's a pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually a good answer. And in your long range would probably be your M27.
Yeah.
Both my guns are just M4. Well, sorry. The two main guns I use are both M4s, nothing special. So they work for whatever they work for.
I think if you stick to any sort of airsoft gun, if you're transitioning a lot between in and outdoor play, and you're within the FPS limits of whatever environment you're part of, I think if you stick to a barrel length about 300 millimeters, you can get a good range on things. 300 to 363 is, it's
455 is your end all be all greatest.
Well, that's long range.
But
I'm saying like if you want a good kind of
yeah,
works for everything. Like they call it, M4 length. So any airsoft gun that falls within that length barrel, you're probably pretty good. And in terms of red dots, the Bravos were nice. For a general use optic, especially at the distances that you're going to be playing in airsoft, just a standard red dot's going to be.
So what's your favorite? There's all sorts of.
I like the T1 I've got now.
The T1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The micro. Yeah, I'd have to say the micro.
Because it's got the riser.
Favorites. Yeah.
It's easily zeroed. And
Yeah.
it keeps its zero,
For the
even
most
though
part,
because of the QD.
Yeah.
Even after I detach it and reattach it,
It does a pretty good job.
yeah, it does a pretty good job of keeping zero.
Yeah, I mean that's what kind of was one of the things that was very annoying about the Bravo series. If the clone of that is
If you
it
move
had,
them at
it had,
all.
no, it had no zero
Right.
settings anyway. You couldn't adjust it.
Mm-hmm.
You could adjust its brightness, and that's about it. And that was kind of annoying. So if it didn't come zeroed, you're just kind of like, well,
It's over here.
it's over to the left of mine.
So you're just correcting way far
Yeah,
away.
exactly. So I think the T1's a pretty good one. If you need something bigger, there's options out there that are a little bit different.
And as for lasers, I've never found a use for them.
Yeah, I mean just night stuff, but
Peter Rosenbaum asks, "Hey Matt, George, Roger,
Roger,
who would not come on?
Yeah, he doesn't.
We tried.
Yeah,
We tried.
Yeah,
Soon. We're just gonna knock him out.
We're
and
gonna-
he'll wake up on camera.
yeah, we'll tie him, duct tape him to the chair.
And insert guest name here. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Insert. Okay, so I was wondering if we are ever going to be able to get our hands on the SI Glock. I think it means SAI.
Correct.
Okay.
Probably.
And what will the price be? Love the show. Keep up the good work.
We see that. I hear this question at every event. How much is this thing going to be? We don't know until.
Well, as of the release of this video, we don't know.
We still,
Price point,
yeah. And I mean, it'll come out hopefully in the next few months. We're finishing production on it. We had to make a few last minute changes.
It's getting really close.
Yeah,
and it's looking really good.
So once it's in, then we'll have a price point. Until then, we don't have a price point. Sadly,
we would be doing you guys a disservice to give you a
'cause
price and then have it not be that price.
Yeah, because then you would be like, well, what? George said it was going to be this price, but it's really this price.
I thought you said it was gonna be $20.
Yeah, no.
It's not gonna be $20.
No, not $20. Definitely not. It'll definitely be a higher end pistol, so you can kind of gather of how much that'll be. Stop making, that's really annoying when you make a noise right as I'm about to change the cameras over, because it makes it, I have to do, like, fancy editing.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
It's not really fancy, it's just an L cut.
Wait, is that what you meant? Like right then? Okay. Is now good? Now I can do it?
Okay, for those of you who don't know, Canon cameras, you have to like cut in between. So because this is a 20-minute episode, we actually have to do a small cut in between. Usually that cut is pretty seamless, like you never know. But Matt has a knack for just messing up the cut. And he's trying to do that sound just now. He's like,
I was trying to do it after you grabbed the thing. Go ahead.
Okay, Blue Vortex asks, "Dear Insert, if you guys were South Park characters, who would you be? By the way, can I get an Eva TV patch for my team patch? It's a Dev Crew the Tribe patch. Sadly, sure, I'll give you because you're asking a funny question. Yes, if you hit me up on Facebook, I will try to send you an Eva TV patch. Man, what South Park character you be? I actually have been looking forward to this question ever since I read it a long time ago. What South Park character are you?
I don't watch South Park.
Oh, so he doesn't watch South Park. I don't watch South Park really much anymore. But
could I be? Who's the one? Butters. Is that it?
Yes.
Could I be Butters?
I think Matt would be Butters. I think that works.
That's the character I of the episodes I've seen. I think Butters is hilarious, and I'd like to be Butters.
I almost want to say that I have. It's funny. It's kind of funny. No one really wants to say that they're like Cartman. No one really wants to admit that. I kind of feel that way. But actually, like honestly, if I were a South Park, I want to be Randy's dad. I think Randy's dad is hilarious. You have to be really to watch, but like all the shenanigans he gets into, it's just I think that is the character that suits me.
You just mean Randy?
Yeah, Randy. Yeah, Stan's dad or Randy Marsh. Yes. Thanks, Roger.
Wait, is Randy's dad named Randy?
Yes.
No, Randy's
No,
dad
I'm
is
sorry.
Randy.
Stan's dad is named
Yeah.
Randy. So Stan's dad. So Randy.
Stan's dad, Randy.
Yes, there we go. You really need to watch some South Park, man. I thought this was a good question.
Sorry, I'm up on Bob's Burgers now. So,
What's that?
Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk about it. That's a good show. Well written, funny.
Just pick.
Gene is
just,
an excellent character. All right.
Just pick a question.
Okay. Sorry. I need to watch more of that.
You just
more
need
of
no.
South Park
It's
stuff.
okay. You don't have to. I'm just.
Okay. Rock God 3608 asks, "Dear Insert, what are your thoughts on using canted iron sights or red dot on a DMR with a sniper scope? Love the show. Thanks." Let's go with the first half of the question, then we'll answer the second one.
That's a long one.
What do you think about canted iron sights?
Doesn't make sense for airsoft.
Okay. What is its practical use in real shooting?
Is you basically, let's say you have a zoomed optic, you can easily go to a iron sight for close range engagements. You could have different zeros on them. The reason I don't think they're useful for airsoft is, one, the engagement distances are kind of different where you could just survive off a red dot.
Okay.
And, a non-zoomed red dot. And two, because of the way the hop-up works,
You're just
could be aiming this way and your BBs go over there. So I personally don't think that they have a canted air. It's just for looks. So I don't think they have a use for airsoft.
Doesn't Toby use a canted iron sight?
Yeah, he does. And that's why he doesn't hit anything.
Okay. So then, red dots on sniper platforms and DMRs and things. So,
So like a raised red dot.
right. Like when you have like a red dot on top
Yeah.
of an ACOG or
Yeah,
on top of
yeah.
not an ACOG. Yeah.
Yeah, an ACOG.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
an ACOG has like a. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, so an elevated red dot in addition to a magnified optic still has to be zeroed because it doesn't do you any good if
Yeah.
it's just up there for looks. And by zeroed, we mean that your BB is hitting where it's aiming. Otherwise, it doesn't do you any good.
True.
But the advantage to that is if you have a longer range rifle, when you're firing farther away, you've got that magnified optic that allows you to see farther away and get better accuracy. But it's not so effective when you're real up close and personal, and that magnified optic is looking at the shoulder of somebody when really you're trying to aim at something else. You want a little bit more view. So a red dot allows allows you to acquire a target much closer to you without having to concentrate on a magnified optic.
But again, just for looks. The reason why, because if you're using, let's say you're using a DMR, unless you're fulfilling a DMR role for a milsim event, your minimum engagement distance might actually be beyond really what you need the red dot for. So just playing devil's advocate,
No, that's true.
I really don't think there's much of a use for them.
That's why my M27 is not a DMR. Even though it is a DMR. It still goes full auto if I need it to.
I think this will be our last question for this one.
Too many high fives in this episode.
Where's the soundboard?
I don't know.
We have no energy today because we went to lunch and we're really tired from the weekend.
Note to self.
Absolute KW Airsoft. That's dear insert. Hey guys, keep up the good work. Thank you. But I wanted to know what's with Florida. No events. What's with Florida? No events here. Evike host an event here. Who knows? I think I put this question in the helm for a good. We get this question a lot. Will you do an event here? Will you open a store here? Will you do this? We're not going to open a store anywhere else. This is where our store is.
Okay.
Let's get that out of the way.
I'm a little disappointed by that.
There may, at one point in time, be a shipping center somewhere.
Okay.
Okay? I'm not going to, but we're not going to put up a brick and mortar store.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make you sad?
It does a little bit.
Why?
I don't know. I wanted to visit another store.
You could visit a whole number of our wholesale stores.
No, I know. I'm just...
Okay. Anyway. Will you have an event at XYZ place? We would like to. We are looking at several locations. I would say that Florida is one of them. We're looking at Texas. We're looking at someplace in the Midwest.
Like Illinois.
Like Illinois, Indiana area. We're looking at Hawaii. We're looking at several different places to host an event. So,
and look at it this way. We haven't been to Europe yet.
Yeah. We
Asia.
have a lot, yeah, exactly. Iowa.
We've got the world to go to.
Yeah. We have so much time to do stuff.
Yeah.
But we are looking at events, so just keep an eye out. But, there are events. Check out, like, Airsoft C3 or one of those, like, community pages that tries to, like, kind of bring all the communities together and look for what's in your area. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of events that are in driving distance that some people just, like, forget. They're like, why don't you ever have events on the East Coast? Like, what are you talking about? We have a bunch of events on the East Coast. There are a bunch of events on the East Coast with, like, thousands of players who drive from everywhere. And
you just got to do a little research.
Yeah, just look around. You'll be surprised what you could find. I think that's the last question.
Was that the last one?
Yeah. Let's see. I think we're coming up on time. Oh, yeah. We're getting close to a time limit.
Okay.
All right, fine. Do one more
question. Last question.
Better be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, I promise. In fact, it's going to be a good one because Heriberto Castro asked it. Hey, Insert, how would I add Velcro to a patch that doesn't have any? That's a good question for George. I bought an 82nd Airborne patch in Normandy, France, and I don't know how to get Velcro on it. What do you recommend me to do?
You could do two things.
This is a perfect question for George.
This is good. All right, you can do two
George
things.
can sew things.
Well, all right. One, you could sew it. You could take it to, if you have like a laundromat, or not a laundromat, like a tailor or a dry cleaner.
Yeah, there you go.
They usually have like services, and if you bring them some Velcro, or maybe they'll have Velcro on site, can you sew Velcro on this? They'll probably do it. They'll probably charge you, but they'll do it. Or you can have your mom do it, or spouse, what have you. Another trick: if you go get some hard Velcro, hook Velcro, the hard stuff, not the loop Velcro. You want hook Velcro.
The
Loop
male
Velcro
side.
is like the soft stuff.
Right.
So you take that, you cut it up in the shape you want it, you put it on your patch, and you use a super glue that's a gel-based super glue.
Really?
Yeah, and that'll work. Don't use hot glue. Hot glue doesn't work.
It'll tear away.
It'll tear away. But you can use, it holds up okay. It's much better to sew it, but it does hold up. But,
Actually, I think the Airsoft Obsessed guys used hot glue on their patches, and that's why I ripped one off.
oh yeah, no, when patches are from overseas sometimes, most of the time they actually are hot glued if they're hot knifed. They're not hot
Interesting.
glued, but they're glued.
Right.
The Evike TV, as you know, Evike TV patches are that way. They're not stitched.
Right, but they didn't. But we don't have a problem with our adhesive. So is it
Oh,
just the
I've had a
adhesive?
few. I've seen a few come off. It's like basically they're doing like an ironed on onto the.
Well, I thought that's what you were going to recommend. Get the iron-on Velcro. Is there iron-on Velcro?
You could try it. I've never tried it. There might be. I know there's like sticky Velcro. That doesn't work either. You would think that it would, but it doesn't. I've seen it fail.
Well, if you're watching the video and you've got some suggestions for Heriberto Castro on how to mount his Velcro, comment in the section below, give him some help, just in case we haven't gone over something that you would suggest. If you guys have any future questions, you know what to do. Write them down in the comment section below. Those will get cut up and put in the helm of reasoning for us to answer on a later episode of the Not So Round Table. If you haven't bought your NSRT patch yet, you can find that right on our website at Evike.com. And
The link's in the description below.
we'll see you guys next time.
It's $5.
It is.
And it's just a cool patch.
I rocked one this weekend.
Are you happy I gave that one?
I was,
I
thank
gave
you.
one
I
to
was
you.
complaining that I didn't have
Yeah,
one.
I know. You're such a prima donna sometimes.
See you guys later. Roger, you're on the next one.